Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's nugget from the Lord. And yes, you're here with moi, and one is, as always, feeling jubilant. Now, I have to say, I know, my dears, that you have missed me because I have missed you. But let me tell you what has been going on in this crazy world. I mean, not just to say that we're struggling with this Rona business, and then of course we had the cliffhanger of the elections. Now, come on now, people! If there was ever a show, it was the last election of the United States of America. I think everybody was watching it worldwide. But, sadly, and today's topic on this Wellness Wednesday is about how to manage your anger. Yes, I know. And it was so crazy because was going through a time and a moment of anger. I am not going to hide it from you. I've had a couple of weeks where I was so angry. It actually impacted me so that it changed my mood and my spirit. And so, whereas I'm normally feeling jubilant, I was not jubilant at all. And that is just not me. And I was out of character. And I actually could sense and feel I was out of character. And it made me miserable. So, let's get on with the little formalities. So, for all of those dear darlings on Instagram, I love you dearly, but I'm going to be presenting a slideshow. And if you want to see it, you may want to log on to YouTube. And for those of you on YouTube or on Facebook, please subscribe to the iReach Project on YouTube. Thank you, darlings. Subscribe. That's right. That's what they say. So, first of all, let's get through our National Day. And as you all know, today is Remembrance Day or Veterans Day. And we are saluting all of our unsung heroes, those who have passed and those who are still here with us. For the old wars, from the world wars, 1, 2, and such, Vietnamese, everywhere, Afghani, Gulf, Falklands, to the ones that are actually just keeping peace. Because we forget that our military keeps peace around the world. So we are saying thank you and we salute you. We appreciate you. And well, what would we do without you? So thank you very much. And as they say, lest we forget. So thank you so much to our veterans. And now, as you know, I do like a little sweet treat. So it's also National Sunday today. So after you have held your remembrance services, go forth and have yourself a nice ice cream. I mean, if you want, it can be vegan for those of you who are being all health and trendy these days. But otherwise, just go and enjoy yourself a Sunday. That's what I say. Okay, so let me share with you on this Wellness Wednesday about managing and how we live with anger. Now, I know oftentimes, especially when you were children, your parents would have said, you being angry, that's naughty, that's wrong. You mustn't be angry. You can't behave like that. Anger is not a bad emotion. But anger unchecked and not managed can become detrimental to not just yourself, but to all of those around you. And that's what we need to ensure that we're not allowing to happen. So let's start looking at anger. Yes, I know, such an interesting topic, isn't it? So, the heart of anger, and I'm going to just go myself with what happened to me. We had a meeting at work, and it wasn't a meeting, it wasn't a staff meeting, it was an info session. The meeting, they gave all this information to us and they zoomed us out. We started at 9 and they zoomed us out at 9:29. They said, do you have any questions? Oh, no, okay, bye, click. There was no opportunity. And with all the information they'd given us, we needed to say something. And from there, it was just a kind of downhill spiral of anger. So, the heart of anger, what is that? If it's I or me, oftentimes you get angry for yourself. You can get angry for others, but oftentimes it's for yourself. I want my way. I want relief from suffering, or someone or something to change that will make everything all right again. For me to control others, or for me to control God, because He's just not moving fast enough and I've been praying way too long. I have a right. But what are the underlying feelings of this? It's bitterness, loneliness, lack of contentment, envy, depression, and self-pity. So how do you know when you're angry? Now, I remember a song by Kellis, and that's for you, all you who pretend to be saved. I know you know what with my Kellis. I love me some Kellis, and she had a song called Caught Out There. But the main lyrics of the song was, I hate you so much right now. And I am telling you, I love that song. And when she got to the part I loved, I hate you so much right now. Ah! Oh my gosh, I love that part. I would just be out there screaming my head off. And then I realized after a while, one needs to grow up. And that's not the best way to express one's frustrations and anger, but it's still an awesome song. And so then, all of us have symptoms of anger, physical signs that tell us when we are angry. And these happen when our bodies release adrenaline and cortisol. Today, let's look at effective ways in which we can identify and manage our anger. And for any of you who aren't interested, go check out the song. It's a good time to sometimes just release some energy. So let's have a look at anger from a biblical standpoint. Genesis 4:3-9. Time passed. Cain brought an offering to God from the produce of his farm. Abel also brought an offering, but from the firstborn animals of his herd, choice cuts of meat. God liked Abel and his offering, but Cain and his offering didn't get his approval. Cain lost his temper and went into a sulk. So here you go. This is the first time anger is being mentioned in the Bible. Then it says, God spoke to Cain. Why are you having this tantrum? And why the sulking? If you do well, won't you be accepted? And if you don't do well, sin is lying in wait for you, ready to pounce. It's out to get you. You've got to master it. Cain had words with his brother. They were out in the field, and Cain came at Abel, his brother, and killed him. God said to Cain, where is Abel, your brother? And he said, how should I know? Am I his babysitter? So straight away from here, what's happening is Cain's angry. So it says that. And from him being angry, he goes to have a chit chat, we're assuming, with his brother. And unfortunately, because of the anger that's underlying, he's overwhelmed. So when maybe Abel doesn't say what he wants to hear either, he gets so angry, he explodes and he kills his brother. So carrying on to Genesis 4:10-16, God said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is calling to me from the ground. From now on, you'll get nothing but curses from this ground. You'll be driven from this ground, and that has opened its arms to receive the blood of your murdered brother. You'll farm this ground, but it will no longer give you its best. You'll be homeless wanderer on the earth. Cain said to God, my punishment is too much. I can't take it. You've thrown me off the land and I can never again face you. I'm a homeless wanderer on earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. So God told him, no, anyone who kills Cain will pay for it 7 times over. God put a mark on Cain to protect him so that no one who met him would kill him. Cain left the presence of God and lived in no man's land east of Eden. And you know what? That part really saddens me, because in all of this, it's that it says Cain left the presence of God. Wow. Could you imagine how you must have felt to leave the presence of your creator? That's the ultimate parent. That's like leaving your granddad And no one ever wants to upset the grandparents. That's just not the one. Another thing I noticed is that throughout the conversation with God, Cain did not say he was sorry or sound remorseful. Now, he was when his punishment came because of his anger, his actions, and how he reacted. He received a consequence, which was to be banished. But for the loss of his brother, it doesn't say, hey, he's one of the first people on earth that your brother has been killed. And you've got so angry that you've killed him. Wow, just right here, we can see how unchecked anger is dangerous. So another scenario, in Matthew 26:50-56, Jesus said, "Friend, why this charade?" Then they came on him, grabbed him and roughed him up. One of those with Jesus pulled his sword and, taking a swing at the chief priest's servant, cut off his ear. But Jesus said, "Put the sword back into where it belongs. All who use swords are destroyed by swords. Don't you realize that I am able right now to call my Father and 12 companies or more, if I want them, of fighting angels would be here battle ready? But if I did that, how would the scriptures come true that say this is the way it is to be?" Then Jesus answered the mob, "What is this, coming out after me with swords and clubs, as if I were a dangerous criminal? Day after day I have been sitting in the temple teaching, and you never so much as lifted a hand against me. You've done it this way to confirm and fulfill prophetic writings." Then all the disciples cut and run. Now, in this scenario, the disciple of whom many say was Peter became angry, and then he was protecting his friend, their friend Jesus, and they cut off an ear of one of the soldiers. But look at the difference here in controlled anger in the response of Jesus. He said to put away the sword, and then he healed the soldier's ear, and then he even challenged in a calm voice with words to the mob that came to attack him. Now, Jesus was angry, he was scared, and he was in fear, but he still kept his anger in check. And so you wonder, you say, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And you hope with this that it will allow you to have some kind of calm and a sense of how to manage situations when they come before you. But what are some of these behaviors of anger? The reality is, anger turned inwards becomes depression. And that's kind of what I experienced a couple weeks ago. I was really down and angry and sad about the situation that was brought before me. But anger turns outwards becomes aggression. And neither of these are very good. So how do you get that balance? What are some of the angry behaviors that we encounter? Yelling or shouting, shutting down and getting quiet, which is what I did. Start a fight, saying hurtful things, hurt themselves or others, destroy property, foul language, swearing or cussing, running away and leaving the situation. And often when you see children displaying anger, this can be from learned behavior. A child observing a parent or being in an abusive environment can lead to the child's forming of habits on how he or she manages anger. So what are some of the signs or characteristics of angry behaviors? I need to let my dear licensed therapist, Rashonda James, who I have to say reminds me so much of my niece, Tanaka James, tell us all about it. And I'm telling you, she is hilarious. Well, I think she's hilarious, but that's just my opinion.
Then one thing goes wrong and they cubs they baking right, just absolutely going berserk, and you looking at them like, is it really that serious? Is it really that serious?
What's happened here?
let me start off by first saying that I am not against anger. I repeat, I am not against anger. Anger can be a very healthy and natural and essential emotion to expressing ourselves, to handling different situations. So let me just get that very clear. I'm not here to say that we should never get angry. That's like a ticking time bomb. We don't want that. But you can get into that realm where when it starts impacting your relationships in life, where you're not able to control that anger anymore and it is just overwhelming all parts of your life, and even you don't like it anymore, you actually have an anger problem. I want to say, if this is your undefined energy, to subscribe. I post mental health videos 2 to 3 times a week, so do consider joining. But if you still need a little bit more ammunition to say click that subscribe, then let me tell you the 6 signs. Number 1 is that you're passive aggressive. Mm-hmm. Passive meaning non-aggressive, so sometimes it's really hard to pinpoint it. So someone who's having passive aggressiveness, it may come out in being sarcastic, and may come out as being mean, like that person's just being mean, and so you don't even really acknowledge it. Also, when someone is engaging in passive aggressiveness, because they don't know that they're actually angry, they don't deal with it, and so it can come out in self-destructive behaviors such as skipping school, maybe drugs, maybe avoiding certain situations because they don't know that they're actually angry. So they're being passive aggressive and not dealing with it and avoiding it. All right. Number 2, you get angry. And not that kind of angry like, oh, I need to take a chill pill, I'm going to just go ahead and handle that over here. No, we talking about punching walls, breaking doors, throwing glasses. You just jumping out of cars that's moving because you just can't take the anger. Yeah, that ain't healthy. No. That shows you that you need to recognize your triggers, figure out what's kind of bringing out that rage that you feel inside, so that you can deal with it. Yeah, because that's not healthy. No. Number 3, you're often blaming others. So if you got fired, you're blaming the boss, you're blaming your coworkers, you're blaming your ex, you're blaming everybody. And so it almost makes you feel like you're valid for getting angry. And so you're never taking responsibility of what's going on in your life. And so if I'm blaming someone else, it's easier to get upset because I'm like, oh, like this was out of my control, and I can just get very upset and just let it just go. I can just go with the anger and feel like it's okay. So it's important to know not only what your triggers are and not only to acknowledge your anger, but also to recognize when you're blaming others for how you feel. It's really releasing power to someone else and making you get further away from managing your anger. Number 4, you're always angry. Like out of 7 days out the week, you probably angry 6 days, and people trying to avoid you because you're just that angry person. You know what's that dwarf? Grumpy, yeah. No one really wants to be around them. They tolerate them, but they don't really want to be around. So if you're finding that you're getting angry all the time and that it's happening so often where you're like, do I even remember? Then you need to think about some anger management tools. Number 5, now not only can you have anger happen too often, but it can also last too long. So if somebody, broke a chair, or somebody didn't pick up the phone call, you still angry 5 days later. So it's important to know that being executive days of something, that you can't change the situation, or if you can change the situation, just leaving in that anger and almost being angry than you are being happy. That's a sign that we need to look. That's a sign. And number 6, your anger is not appropriate for the situation. Now we're just watching lots of movies. What is that, Happy Gilmore sometimes, where people are just doing an everyday task or doing something that should be fun, and then one thing goes wrong and Real Cubs, they baking rats. Like they are just absolutely going berserk. And you looking at them like, is it really that serious? Is it really that serious? So it's important to know that if your anger is right here, but it really should be right here, something in that normal or appropriate range, then you need to really look at your anger and try to calm down.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was 6 signs that you may have an anger problem. They're very general. They're not just a rule. They're not the gospel, but it can give you some insight to know that if you need to take a look at your anger and reevaluate some things and at least maybe identify what actually makes you angry so that you can start dealing with it. I will have other videos coming up, but if you want to know more information, definitely leave comments down below for any videos that you want me to make, and I'll definitely try to get that out to you. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was fruitful to you. I hope it gave you some insight into what may be going on with you. Yep. If it was, definitely give me the like button. Don't forget to subscribe here at Undefined Therapy, where I make mental health videos, and I'll see you next time.
We like. So thank you to Rashonda James for that. So now you should have the 6 main characteristics of anger. Why am I having issues on my screen? Okay, whatever. So we're going to look at the characteristics. So we've looked at, so remember there were 6. So you had the passive aggressive, okay? You have the excessive aggressive or anger. You've got the too long forms of anger. You've got the extreme versions of anger. Tell me, what was the next one? There was one more. You guys tell me. You can put that in the chat. So now we're going to look at how we can manage that anger and what happens to the body when it's angry. Because remember, everything that you are perpetuating on the outside, something is happening on our insides, okay? So we have to make sure, and if you want to stay balanced and healthy, you have to always be thinking about what is going on your inside. So I'm just trying to. So what does anger do to your body? What happens in your body when you get angry? So you get raised temperature and sweating. You get rapid breathing to get more oxygen into the body. Your heartbeat may climb to 180 beats per minute or higher. Your blood pressure may increase to 220 and over 130 or even higher. Your muscles become tense because oftentimes you clench your feet, you clench your jaw, and then you get tightness in the chest because some people hyperventilate. Your energy burst causes a sugar deficiency, causing a person to shake. You know, when you see that person was shaking with rage and anger, that's what's happening in your body. The physical effects of anger. The brain shunts blood away from the gut and towards the muscles in preparation for physical exertion. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, your respiration increase. The body temperature rises, your skin perspires, and the mind is sharpened and focused. Because remember, it's looking for fight or flight. When you become angry, your body is rearing for the fight or to run. You need to learn and become aware of the triggers that can make you angry to not just protect you and your sanity, but also others. No one should be afraid or uncomfortable to be in your company because of your anger or outbursts. So how do we change our mindset? You know, like anger, the external emotion which is observed by others, but there underneath anger is the secondary emotion, and it's this secondary emotion which actually is the primary. The primary emotion is what triggers the secondary, which is the anger. So anger is a secondary emotion to the primary of these. You know, it's someone has hurt you, you become angry. Something has frustrated you as you're not able to at present continue with the goal that you had in mind. Fear of something or someone, guilt to something you have or have not done, shame, condemning yourself, humiliation, exposing of your faults, depression, anger which turns inwards at or about something or someone, grief and loss, especially if the person has been stolen from you, like in a murder or a child's death, or love which is unthwarted or rejection. All of these are the primary factors for the secondary, which is your anger. And as we go through, you think about, how do you stay calm? What's something you can just say? And like in Philippians 4:6-7, it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So is it possible to live with anger? Yes. Can we live with anger? Of course we can. Human beings get angry every day. Anger is a reaction to approaching a threat. Anger is a feeling that warns you of problems, but not all problems need to be actively fixed. Some and many problems can go on their own in time, and some problems require an active solution. Anger alerts you that a problem exists and a guess at how strongly you need to address it. And most oftentimes, when we are angry, there are other emotions under the surface. So, that analogy of the iceberg. Let's look at our angry iceberg. So, when you have the angry iceberg, sometimes when we are angry, there are other emotions. So, what's under the surface? Oftentimes, it's embarrassment. You're annoyed. You've been rejected. You've been attacked. You're overwhelmed. You're just feeling grumpy. You're hurt. You can be jealous. You feel trapped, disrespected, helpless, frustrated, worried, sad. Name another feeling that can make you angry. You name another feeling and you tell me. You've got to now learn in your anger the approaching threat. Remember, you've got the passive, watch, wait, and be ready. You've got the passive aggressive. The passive aggressive is containing yourself, but you're going to vent because you're still protecting you. Then you've got the assertive, which is trying to solve the situation as adults. And that's where, when you are angry, that's the zone you need to be in, the assertive, not aggressive, which is the one that's trying to solve it with force. And then you have the run. There's no solution possible. I just got to get out of here because I need to preserve myself. At the end of the day, you can and we can manage our angers. So what are some of the ways we can manage them? If anger is not managed, it can adversely impact and affect your relationships with others, your spouse, your partner, children, family members, and in your workplace. The reality is no one wants to hang out with a ticking time bomb or a grouch. So let's see some ways that we can learn to handle this, because we can. So consider the best way to react in a situation. Relax and stay calm, which is harder said than done, I will admit. But that's why we then go to our breathing. If you're starting to feel angry, start taking deep breaths. Count to 10. I've often told some people, count to 100 if you need to. Go to 1,000. But bring that down. Bring that energy down. Exercising often is a way that helps to level your mindset, keeping a journal so you can write down if you're angry about something. Talking to someone, never keep it in. Tell yourself that you are all right. You're going to be okay. So let's look at some of these happiness chemicals and how to hack into them. So dopamine, the reward chemical. Once you've completed a task, doing self-care activities, eating food, celebrating life's little wins, yay! That releases dopamine. Oxytocin, the love hormone. Playing with your dog. I think that might be another type of people. Playing with a baby, maybe. Holding hands. Hugging your family. Yes, I agree. Hugging. You should have a minimum of 7 hugs a day. That releases oxytocin. And giving confidence. So that affirmation. Everybody likes a little bit of affirmation. Serotonin, the mood stabilizer. So meditating. Running, sun exposure. Oh yes, that's like me. I'm a sun baby. Give it to me. Give it to me. I love me some sunshine. Walk in nature. That's me too. I love me some nature. Swimming. I actually enjoy swimming too. Cycling. Endorphins, the painkillers. Laughter, exercise. I love to laugh. If you are around me and you don't laugh, we can't roll. I need to be cracking up, busting up, eyes watering, everything. I love to laugh. That is one of the best forms of reduction of anger and helping you to release the correct chemicals within your body. Essential oils, watching a comedy. So, again, laughing, dark chocolate. That's not for me. And exercising. Yes, keeping fit. So, there you have it. And then we have Psalm 28:7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him and he helps me. My heart leaps for joy, and with my song, I praise him. So it is time to take control. I had to readdress my issues from a couple of weeks ago so that I could get myself together and come before you. And I am so glad that, I allowed myself to see things clearly, not be so grumpy, grouchy, which then started to impact me because with my body, my health, I have to be in a happy place. Once I'm in a happy place, my body's good. If I'm in an unhappy place, I become very unwell. So I'm foolish my own self if I decide to be angry or upset or take something on, because I'm only going to impact my own health. So Ephesians 4:26 says, be angry, but at sin, at immorality, at injustice, at ungodly behavior, yet do not sin. Do not let your anger cause you shame, nor allow it to last until the sun goes down. And so in all of that, we have the so many organizations out there to support you. Please don't feel you have to go through this and live this alone. Where do you start? The Better Help Anger Management Hotline is a good place to go. Your occupational health at work, your GP can also refer you for anger support. And if your anger is becoming overwhelming for you and those around, please look in your local regions and areas or contact me and I'll signpost you to services in your local area. Remember, your anger doesn't only impact and affect you, it impacts and affects others. And once that happens, you're not a joy to be around. And I don't want that for you. I need you to be just as jubilant as me. Yes, we got to get on this jubilant train together. Let's pray, guys. Thank you, Lord, so much for your love. Please, dear Father, be with everyone under the sound of my voice. Protect them, cover them, heal them from whatever it is, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional infirmities. Touch their lives, dear Lord, and help them to understand that we can find other ways and solutions to express ourselves instead of anger. Please, dear Father, hear and answer our prayers. And thank you so much for each new day. In your holy and most precious name, amen. So just the few last tips, anger management tips. Prevention is the main focus. Focus on your unmet needs. Otherwise, your anger will resurface. The more you understand your own anger, the more you'll be able to communicate your wants and your needs without having an outburst. Keep track of your anger. Helps to identify the patterns. How relevant is your anger? Anger as a protective emotion. Pay attention to your thoughts. When you're upset, your thoughts will sound different to you. He did it on purpose. She's taking too long. He needs to see it my way. Or, of course, he's going to side with her. He always does. You have to change that mindset. So we've got the last few tips. One, know what pushes your buttons. Ding, ding, ding. You need to figure that out so we can get rid of that. Know your body's anger warning signs. Are you tensing up? Is your chest feeling tight? Are you uncomfortable? Stop and think. Ask yourself, what happened that made me get angry? What else did I feel when it happened? Cage your rage. So hold it in. I know it's hard, but don't lash out. If you have to, walk away. Take deep breaths. Let it go. Remember, it's always better to pick your battles. Do you want to just win that, or do you want to win the war? Sometimes silence is best. And decide rationally in your mindset what you want to do. So, thank you all for spending this time with me. I hope that you learned a lot about anger and how to manage it. If you need any more support and assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me, DM me, and I will get that information to you. Want to let you know tomorrow is not today's daily nugget. Tomorrow will be Business Weekly and the top tips on things, everything business. So please join me again tomorrow. And I will time. And all of you, please like and subscribe, share this video, especially if there's any young people that you know that need that support, as well as adults. We're going through some trying times, guys. So learning how to manage our anger and our frustration when things don't go our way is a key of importance right now. And remember, when you're angry, you are damaging your immune system. You actually take 6 hours to actually get your body to reset and your immune system to function properly after a burst of anger. So you think about that, 6 hours each time you're losing when you become really angry. So thank you guys. Have a great day and stay blessed. Bye bye.